Welcome to the chapter for Safer Web and Printing to Inkjets. Now I have this image of a lighthouse that was in Chicago from Navy Piers on a very cold, dreary, snowy day. And I love this image because I like the bright redness of it and I like the dreariness of it. It looks really nice. It's haunted, but it's not. But I want to send this to somebody. Now the problem is I took this with the DSL camera and I know that we're viewing this at 33.3% in 16-bit mode. So this means that this is heavy in pixels. How can I verify that? I can go down to this pull-down menu and choose document sizes, which I have, and this is showing me that I'm having 34.7 million pixels. That's too many pixels to send somebody. Depending on their internet connection and download speed, that can take forever or not. But I don't know what speed what they have. So my job is, if I'm going to send this over the web, I need to reduce the file size, but try to retain as much quality as possible. This is my goal. Photoshop has provided us with a nice little application that does that. So if we go to File, Save for Web and Devices, you'll see the Save for Web and Devices dialog come up. And for me, it goes to the Optimize screen. I'm going to move this over into View by pressing the Hand tool and click on the hand and move it into position. That's obviously a little bit too big for me. So I have some choices. I can double click the hand tool and fit in view, but I can see that it kind of looks a little grainy. I can use the zoom tool and zoom into it to see it a little bit better. But there's something else that's more troubling. If I go over to the right side, I have a different types of presets. So what I do is when this dialog box opens up, I know that this image is huge. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my presets here, and I'm going to know that GIF is for line drawings, artwork with solid colors, or non-photographic. JPEG is for photographs or continuous tones such as gradients. PNG8 is like GIF and accepts true transparencies. PNG24 does everything, but it's usually higher in file size. WMP I never used, and I don't think anybody else does. So I'm going to choose JPEG. Now I already know that this is going to be ridiculous, and it shows me right here that I've got it down to 1.244 million pixels. So if a person on the other end is using a 1.5 megabits per second, it's going to take them 9 seconds to download this. Remember, that's depending on their internet speed and depending on what time of the day it is too. Alright, and this is at a quality of 76. Okay? So if I chose very high, I wouldn't choose very high. Why wouldn't I? Because I already know that it's 1.244 million, and I'm already at high with a quality setting of 76. That's a preset. There's no blur. Usually if you apply a blur to an image, it can reduce the file size. But I'm going to tell you, applying a blur to this is not going to reduce it to a file size that's manageable. Now you're probably asking, what's a manageable file size? Well, back in the day, we used to do 25K to 50K was the manageable size. These days, with faster internet connections, I'm almost sure you can get away with 100K to maybe 150K. But if you want someone to view the picture and not be inconvenienced by the time it takes a download, I probably would put it in the range of maybe 50 to 100. But knowing that this is high, knowing I'm already at 1.244 million, what else can I use to my advantage? Down here is the image size. Now, I could have reduced the image size inside Photoshop itself, but that would have actually affected the image. Whereas in this application interface thing here, I can reduce the image size and not affect the image. So I'm going to do it here. So I'm going to go to, let's say 800. And I'm going to press Tab. And because this is linked, this will automatically take care of that for me. I'm going to double click the zoom tool, which will make it 100%. Alright, so now my image size is at a more manageable 800 by 548. My quality I use bicubic smoother. You can use bicubic sharper if you want. That's probably a better idea. But you can try different ones. That's the great thing about this dialog box. You can try whatever you want. And now I've got it down to 91K. So I went from that original 1.25 million, because I remember I reduced the image size here, to 91.33K, and that's just reducing the file and leaving at a high setting. Now, I just want to tell you something else. there's a maximum setting, which is at 100. Most people will tell you that I think was at 5 or 10% from 95 or 90. I think it's 95 to 100. That's just overhead. It's not actually reducing your file size, and it's not doing anything for your photo. So basically anything from under 95 is going to work out a lot better. So let me go back to very high, and I got it down to 102. So let's see what we can do here. Now, Photoshop also provides you with this 2 up. So we're looking just the optimized view, but we don't know how that looks compared to the original. Wouldn't that be nice to see both? You can. We can go to 2 up. And then when I select the hand tool or press H for the shortcut, I can move this over, and you can see the difference. Isn't that interesting? By compressing this photo, we can see more colors come out. That's interesting. So I can either reduce the quality by scrubbing here, as you can see indicated. I can press this and then move this down if I want to. Let's move it to 70. Alright, and I got it down to 75K. Still looks good. Still looks nice. Or I can use these presets. I can use progressive to see if that'll reduce the file size. It will. But I'm not worried about that right now. I want to embed my color profile because I've been working in it, so I want to keep the colors as is. And I usually leave this convert to sRGB alone. I don't mess with this. And I usually will have my copyright and contact info set up so that I can apply that to my photo. Now, there are some other things that we can use. We have 4 up. Let me move this up a little. Now, 4 up is interesting. 4 up gives me the original. It gives me the 70 quality at a 76 JPEG, 33, and 21. So look at 21, no. 33, no. 70, I like. But let's say, for example, that you had requirements. You could, let me pull this over a little bit here so you can see this. You can optimize to a file size. So you can say, I want to have the desired file size 32K, current settings, and this will shrink your photo down to that desired file size if you want. I prefer not to use that because I'd rather see if I can get a little bit lower or see the quality myself. And another setting that they have is, let me show you. If I select this image and reduce it to medium, only this image is affected. And I still can compare it to the other two. Now, if I select this image and I say, I select this image, excuse me, and then I say, I've already got it down, wait, let me jump this up to maybe high, to a 60 quality, and then I say repopulate views. This is going to repopulate the other views according to this setting and less, as you can see here. So this is now 15 quality and 30 quality. Let me move this back into view here. So that's a very handy thing to use. I'll be honest with you, sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. I'm pretty happy with what 4 up will give me, and then I'll go back up to 2 up and then look at the differences again, and then once I'm happy, I can choose done, which will save the settings, cancel if I'm not happy, or I can go over here and preview it. Now right here I have Internet Explorer. I can go find others and I can edit this list. If you edit the list, you can tell Photoshop to find the other browsers that you have. You can tell Internet Explorer to be your default, set as default. If not, you can remove it, change it, all those sorts. I'm going to click cancel, and I can preview how this is going to look in a browser. Let me move this into position, excuse me. Sorry about that. Alright, and this is how my image would look in the browser. See the green matte? Well, shame on me. That's where I would go back over to the matte and click none. There we go. So once I'm happy with what image I like, the quality, and I've reduced it down to a manageable size to send to somebody, then I'm going to click save, and then from that point I can save it with the JPEG extension and then name it at that point. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about GIF and PNG.